Hi everybody, my name is Sherry. I'm an adult with ADHD and I have been chronicling my journey. I've been starting a 30-day trying to get my life back on track, and I kind of fell off for a couple weeks. I just woke up, and let this be a friendly reminder, if you have not taken your medicine yet, if you need it to feel better, if you take antidepressants, or if because you have depression, or if you take ADHD meds, let this be, and I have both, let this be a friendly reminder to go take your medicine and fill up your water bottle if you need to. We're starting again. So I have lost a few subscribers, which is understandable. This content is not my favorite, but I have had some setbacks, and I at least wanted to come on and touch base really quick and let you know. I just had a 50th birthday. We haven't celebrated yet. We haven't done anything yet. We recently lost my mother-in-law, and so yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on, and getting my medicine tapered back up after I had been without it for much longer than I realized. So that messed me up. There was something else that happened. So I've been all over the place. So all of the efforts that I put into trying to establish a routine got messed up. And also my counselor she had to cut her hours. So she can only see her clients half as often. At first I was wondering if that was anything like me related, but it's everybody. You know, it happens. And she did move. She moved to a different part of the state. So she does her work remotely, which is fine, which is helpful for me, you know, so I didn't lose her as a counselor when she moved. Thank God. That's like, out of all the things that happened during COVID, perfect ADD thing. I would have left this open. Yeah. So yeah, she's had to cut her hours with all of her clients in half. So that by itself, I didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but it did end up really messing me up. Let's do a time check. So last night I went to bed at a decent time. I do ramble. Apologize. Coming right back. The things that I'm trying to track and improve, besides my main goals of looking for another job, looking for options to see what is better than what I'm doing right now. Nothing against the place I work at, nothing against the people I work at. They're wonderful people. It is a retail job that wears me out. It's actually gotten to the point that I didn't know about ADHD and autism burnout, and I found myself in like a mental health and physical crisis where my body just like shut down. And I did ask for a leave of absence, and I had tried to give my boss like an extra 2 weeks so that I wasn't just leaving him without the coverage and scrambling to find somebody. But I was at the point where I didn't realize how bad my burnout was until like I couldn't even get through the 2 weeks. I got through 1 week, and then I couldn't. I ended up, I couldn't even think straight. For those who don't have ADHD or autism or both, this will make no sense to you, especially since I didn't realize I could be somebody with both. And I do want to do some videos in the future to explain if you are a late diagnosed adult with both, the outward signs can seem to counteract each other. So if you are, I know you can't say high functioning anymore. I don't know the correct term. Forgive me. I'm still learning right now. But we'll say it because it's the only thing I know to say for what I'm trying to say. My hands are shaking. If you are like high functioning, autism, and ADHD, I'll explain it in another video. I just woke up. the outer symptoms or behaviors or things that would make it seem that you're different, they kind of counteract each other. If I wasn't holding my phone, I could like use my hands to gesture. But anyway, it's been 5 minutes. I'm waking up later. I fell back asleep after my fiance left for work. He leaves early sometimes. And oh, it's not that late. Oh, good. I thought it was 10. It's 8:40. Go taste with pills. If you're new here, I apologize for this long. I'll just say very quickly, thank you for coming. So far, the content that I've been doing for this 30-day get my stuff together is not glamorous. If you can put up with this temporarily while I do these ones, much better content is coming, much better. I'm going to get right back into telling you guys about a lot of different things and cover this ugly mug up and actually look good. Look like myself again. I think I said it already. I have ADHD, so my working memory isn't great. But thank you for being here. If you're new, when I was looking at the analytics, I was really surprised that 90% of the people who view my videos are not returning viewers. They're new. And I'm just now learning. I'm a little new to social media. I'm just now learning how to film. So bear with me. Bear with me. We are discussing on most of my content, or a lot of my content is going to be about being an adult with attention deficit disorder and possibly also autism. So I have a lot of struggles. I almost feel like it's gotten worse over time. And I think that's because of a lot of stressors that have just popped up, a lot of things that have thrown me off, and the place I am in my life right now. I recently took a leave of absence from my job because I was so burned out. It's really not where I'm supposed to be. It's a long story. I'm not going to do that to you guys. But yeah, I want to thank those who are friends of mine who have supported me through this journey. I am getting my meds back. I'm just about at my regular dose so I can actually function. Yay! I started this 30-day, boot camp for myself. I don't have a body double. I'm now only seeing my ADHD coach every 2 weeks and it's killing me. And I don't have any kind of like accountability. I don't have any structure. So that is kryptonite. Kryptonite. If you have ADHD and you have time blindness like I do, which I found out is called dyschronometria. It is a real thing. Although some people may think they have it. I actually don't. Oh, are you serious right now? Oh, hold on. Oh my God. I totally freaked out. Okay, so if you want genuine, you got her. You want flawed, you got her. Oh, I left my water over there. Oh, you can tell I just woke up. Like all over the place. I have a porch. I haven't shown the outside of my house yet because I'm still trying to preserve some of my privacy for now. And I didn't want to like show where I live. And I was looking at this post on my porch that's holding up the roof. And it's on the corner. It's like holding things up. It's a supportive beam. And it looks like it's split. I thought that it's split. It's old. I really thought it was starting. And it's something that I have been actually looking at because there has been a crack there. My fiance is a carpenter. and he worked under a master carpenter, his dad, for many, many, many years. So I trust him. He knows about structural integrity of buildings, just in general, because his dad had a crew, and they would go in and they would fix old homes and old buildings. They'd also go and fix things that weren't done right. PSA tip. I'm not going to keep you very much longer. PSA tip, if you are thinking of getting some work done on your house, please really look into the guys that you have doing work in your house, even if it's just cosmetic. Because apparently there's a lot of, I don't know if you want to call them schmucks or what, or if they're intentionally lying to people, or they just don't know what they're doing, or they're drunk. There's a lot of bad work that's being done. I'm not naming names. Don't come sue me. I don't know. This is not something I know about, but apparently it is that common. So many, 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 many years they would do this. Decades. So a lot, building homes as well as repairing things that weren't done right, repairing things that are very old, I think historical, like that old, buildings and homes that are not doing good. Doing good. So these are the people that they know. They have the licenses, they have the expertise, they know. His dad is now passed and that business does not exist anymore. So I can't give you any referral or information, and he doesn't do quite that same work. Excuse me. So I can't give you any recommendation of where to go, and you probably don't live in my area anyway. So that I can't help you with, and I'm not knowledgeable in that area. But suffice this to say, if you see those segments on the news where they go after contractors, like, those are the malicious people. I'm totally getting off topic, but that's what I have, right? Ooh, I was distracted because of the post. So it looked like there was a split in the beam, and it looked like it was coming off the side of the house, and I totally forgot. There was a day recently, and they didn't tell me about it, so I didn't know. They put, forgive me, I'm showing myself in my worst, these 30-day things, and I think I'm on day 15. I'm just going to try to jump back into where I was. I started losing people, and I'm grateful for the people I have. I'm a brand new channel, and I don't know how to edit videos yet. But if you want somebody who is unfiltered, and at least in these 30 days, and I'm at day 15, so you don't have to hang with me too much longer for this. But if I'm successful at it, I might keep going, 13 minutes in. Did I even say why yet? Did I even say what happened? I didn't, did I? So it looked like the beam was splitting. Let me just finish that sentence really quick. If I can even get a sentence out. Oh my God. Welcome to my world. They put, gutters. They put gutters in the house, and they hadn't told me. So I didn't know until like either that day and so it kind of like just happened one day, and I hadn't really given it any thought because I hadn't really gone out to, it just happened. So it's the same exact color of the beam. And because it's an older beam that has cracks in it, and it looks like it could hold a house up, but it's got, because it's older, it's got cracks in it. I thought that a part of it is split away, and I was freaking out. So if you're wondering why I was like, oh, and I had to stop. And then I went outside, and it's a drain thing that's right alongside the beam. So it's the exact same color. I don't know how they did it, but it's the exact same color. And it's not painted. It's that raw kind of wood. So it's like this weird olive color. Think of like an old deck that's never been painted. Yeah. So imagine, okay, I'm trying to do a flat line here. Imagine this is the end of this beam, right? That's like holding a roof up, right? And then imagine there's a space where you can see light, and then there's another thing over here. I wonder if I can show that to you without giving things away. But I've been talking too long as it is. Am I even going to post this? I'm on the precipice of some very good things, though. Very good things. I don't have readings often, but I had something that was like a reading yesterday that finally kind of gave me a little bit of clarity to why I might be going through the struggles I am and what might be coming. And it's disorienting. It's disorienting to those who are in a similar boat. If you recently like suddenly lost your job and you're finding yourself, or you've had to lose your job and you're finding yourself feeling really sensitive lately and everything's been thrown in a loop, I'm right there with you. It's really hard to move forward when you have a lot of drastic changes in your life, or if you're forced to, because in my case, I wasn't well and my body just shut down. It wouldn't even let me anymore. I can talk about that in another video, what that was like. And it wasn't like a nervous breakdown kind of thing, although almost. Yeah, I'll talk about that soon because it's important. If you are an adult with ADHD or autism or both, we tend to unknowingly mask a lot. If you've never heard the term masking, think about, and I'm always saying how terrible I look. I start filming before I even put makeup on. So if you're tired of curated videos, I'm your girl. But yeah, that's changing soon. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But I'm here. I'm going to keep trying. I'll keep trying if you keep trying. I also wanted to reach out since, please, any ADHD friends, if you're watching this, if you've gotten this far, if any of you are struggling right now and need like an accountability buddy, please reach out to me to even touch base once a week. It can be in text. It can be doing a live once a week, once every other week. I need something to fill in the gaps. And I don't know if any of you guys have an ADHD coach or a counselor that helps you with that. Mine has, like I said previously, mine has had to cut her hours. She doesn't want to. She actually thinks that I need, she's going to continue helping me, and I have to get, because she can't, we're spending so much time talking about the ADHD stuff and me trying to get back on track that we can't even do the counseling part. I've been seeing her for like 2 years now. I haven't been able to do counseling work with her because this like ADHD is like, anyway. So yeah, I do have to do counseling like a lot of people do because of the consequences of what it's done to my life. And so since I've put the counseling on the back burner for like 2 years, it didn't even occur to me. It didn't even occur to me that all of these upheavals in my life, all of these hardships, now we all have them. I'm not special. I'm not more important. I'm just somebody who doesn't know how to deal with them well. I didn't know that. And I was trying to just get over stuff my whole life. Just get over it. Get on with it. And if you don't, what ends up happening is it does something to your brain. It ends up being a complex trauma. Like all the times that you lose jobs or lose a home or lose relationships, and that piles on, and then it piles on, and then it piles on until like something breaks in your brain, if you're like me, and you just, it's like, it is like a post-traumatic stress. Like, I'm afraid to apply for a new job. I'm afraid to go back to school. It's messed up. It's not even like rational or anything. The last time I went back to school, my dad died. And all this stuff, and I had to move. It's like such a pattern in my life, and I know that these things can happen for a reason. And I know, like, technically, if you have things happen, like, well, you have to deal with them. That's life, right? But the things that are your stuff, that are particularly hard for you, like whatever things end up happening, that's a pattern for you. Imagine being thrown for a loop and your life totally having upheaval, like everything taken from you, like your home, your relationship, your job, all these things, losses in your life. But then imagine like all of it at one time. We've all had loss in our life, right? I think some of you might know what I'm talking about. I think we've all had something like that happen, especially if you've been through divorce. I'm not going to get into my divorce because it's not like it's old. It's something that happened a long time ago. But just in general, when that happens to people, of course, it's such a difficult time for everybody, especially if you have children. I was not able to have children, and that's like I'm not able to have children. That's another video. But apparently there is quite a number of tragedies in my life that I haven't dealt with. And they've accumulated to the point that it's kind of like a PTSD thing now, like a complex trauma kind of thing. And I hate to even say that. I think of trauma as, like, when I initially hear trauma, I'm thinking somebody was physically or sexually abused in some way, or or you survived like a home invasion, or you're survived like 9/11, or you're a war survivor, or I think of like these horribly horrific things, not regular life things, like hardship things. But for me, for my pattern and my stuff, usually it's happened several times in my life, where my entire life, it's almost like there is no point. Okay, so if you have a loss in your life, if you lose a loved one, it's hard, right? You have to go through grieving, and it messes your life up depending on how close that person is to you. And there's shock, and there's all these big emotions you have to deal with, and how it messes up your whole life. So you have, if you're younger, well, it's hard when you're young, because I lost somebody when I was a minor, when I was a child, and that was very difficult. Very, very difficult. You have other aspects in your life that are stable, right? So they get messed up by the thing that you're dealing with. You're trying to hang in there and deal with the shock and all of the grieving that's just starting. It's a horrible thing. So you might have work or school or other things that might be negatively affected by all of that, but you have these other aspects of your life that are stable for the most part, that they're going to be there. Now imagine that when you have things that happen to you, that almost all aspects of your life have been upheaved. I think that's got to be part of life too. But for me, it's like a pattern, man. What do you do when you lose your home, your job, your relationship, your belongings, and then whatever you were trying to like achieve, your dreams? Now you don't have anything else to when you're feeling like you're losing control, to kind of like hide in and keep yourself busy. Luckily right now isn't like that. Thank God. Thank you, God. I have a place to live. My mom is still with us and she's doing well. And I have my fiance, but it's still like a lot of, it usually ends up being things that are not in my control, that don't have to do with me. It's almost better if they do, because then I can do something about that. You know, when it's things that are outside of you, involving other people, other situations, that's my one of my lessons I'm learning about. And apparently I've been carrying a lot of this stuff inside of me, that I've gotten to the point that I'm almost like, not agoraphobic, but it's definitely had a serious negative impact on me. Besides, you know, of course, the depression being pretty bad the last few years. And I have diagnosed major depression. It's something I have. But it has, with upheavals and changes, I haven't really recovered since the last one. And the last one was, I was really hanging in there in school. And I was already doing all of the things for years ahead of time to kind of compensate for my learning differences. And my parents, like, sorry, you're going to have to find a place to live. We're moving. And they were moving out of state. I already took out an extra 10 grand in student loans on top of every like grant and scholarship that I just worked my ass off for and years of like prep. All my nursing student friends, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard enough, right? Needless to say, and I kind of wish she didn't tell me this, I was one fraction of 1 point shy in one of my classes. And that is, you have to get above, like a B plus and above. And it wasn't even an entire point. It was like 1/10 of 1 point. It was like something so ridiculous that it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make logical sense. Don't you round up or down? Like, I don't care. If you round down, fine. But 1/10 of 1 point? It was something like that. And I was humble about it. I listened to everything they said. But yeah, we'll get into a nursing video another time. My experience. And I take full responsibility for the things that I was struggling with and the things that I needed to do. And there was a lot of things I needed to do. And I have worked on myself. I've done all the things. I was doing all the things. And it still happened. And then my dad died. And then we had to find a place to live within, I don't know, a week or something. We had to move. It was like so much. It was so much. It was too much. Each one of those things by themselves is very difficult for a person, anyone, to deal with. I look like I have these little ears. I really need to get my hair done, guys. Oh, this has been half an hour. The good news is, I don't know what's coming, but it's going to be good. And so all of this that I'm struggling with, hopefully, from what I'm learning, is correct. And I'm just going to go on that it is, because at least that will spur me into action. Right now, I have been so paralyzed by grief, by failures, perceived failures, but some of it is things I have to work on, and that's part of being neurodivergent, right? When they talk about was it rejection sensitivity dysphoria? You should call it criticism. I think that people who make these terms don't have it themselves, because they're not coming up with these names from an intuitive relating point of view. They're coming at it from a, we're analyzing this. This is what it seems. And they're right. They are right. But maybe when you're little, it's because you don't want to be rejected by your teacher or your parents or your friends or whatever. But it's the criticism. And I'll tell you why. Because it stems back to when you're a little kid and you can't sit still and you can't do the things because you are different. And it isn't just a little criticism. It's people get more and more frustrated with you to the point they're fed up, and you're hearing that all the time and you can't stop it. So it's like a subconscious thing. The masking is a subconscious survival mechanism that you do since you're a toddler, since you learn how to talk and you're in any kind of social situation, because any other behavior will not be tolerated. So masking is not something we choose to do, although if we're aware, we probably could. But if you think of something that has been a survival, like maladaptive survival, and getting yelled at all the time, that's its own like trauma, right? Yeah, that's why we have sensitivity. Like, we just want that stuff gone. We just want to do things well. We just want to show up. We want to be on time. We want to do all the things. And the thing is, where a lot of us are so crazy smart and we're capable of so much. And yet it's like we have this invisible thing that keeps messing things up. So yeah, I guess the point of that long, I don't know if you want to call this a journal entry, is that, it's being reflected to me from my counselor that it would be good for me to get a second counselor as well. And I guess that happens all the time with some people. I didn't know. I guess especially if she is not able to meet me weekly, and in this, I am a patient or a person who at this point in time needs that structure and support, that it's actually really not good. I think that might be part of the reason why I started this 30-day experiment. It's supposed to be to kick myself into gear from 30 days, from la la land to successful, whatever that means. And yeah, and I had no idea that my meds I had been without my ADHD meds for a long time. And I had to start tearing that back up. I just am at now, after I think 3 weeks, back up to my normal amount of ADHD meds. No wonder why I was struggling so much. I was like unmedicated. I thought it had just been a week or two. And I knew I was trying to make some changes, and I was organizing my closet, and it was the fall, and I was switching over my clothes, and now I still have that mess. I haven't finished it, but I lost track of time. I lost, because I had things organized in a certain way, and now it's not. And I had my medications organized in a certain way, and now it's not. And I was distracted by all these things that are happening, and I have time blindness, which the more I learn about it, the more depressing it is. Because I didn't realize it affects your perception of time, like something that feels like 1 week ago might have been 2 months. Who knew? And we see the consequences of that. So you might think that that's just annoying and you'll just deal with it. But when it's something that affects you taking your medication and being without it for maybe 2 months and not realizing it, that, my friends, is a consequence of time blindness. Being able to be ready on time to go to your job, that's a consequence of actual time blindness. I feel like if you go to learn about it right now, there isn't a lot of good information about it. So don't just believe what you read, because some of the things I found out had to do with specific areas of your brain. 2 different things I found talked about one part of your brain that's responsible for sensing the passage of time, and ours being different. And the other talked about a different part of your brain. So, and most of the stuff you look up now will just talk about the fact that we get distracted and that's why we lose track of time, which is true. That is true. But you get it both. Happy birthday. Happy Merry Christmas. We get a double gift to you. So not only are you losing track of time because you are distracted, because you have ADHD, you also have a part of your brain that would sense the passage of time if you have it. I'm finding a lot of conflicting information, and I don't know if this is a new area of study, and that's why there isn't a lot out yet. And that's with me being a med geek, a medical geek. I was always kind of like this before I even went to nursing school. I wouldn't believe something just by reading it. Like, I have to double check everything. It's kind of funny. I was trying to read through medical journals before I even took any kind of medical classes, like years ago, and I was like trying to muddle through it because I'm a weirdo. I have books on like herbs and different things that can't be taken together. Cool stuff. If you guys want, when I'm going to start doing fun things again, because this has been hella depressing. So yeah, I can get into videos that are my interests that are a lot more fun. It's a little late in the season to bring you with me to go for a kayak ride. I am so glad I'm fixing my medicine, guys. Oh my God. I had no idea that the first half of this 30 days, I was basically like unmedicated. And I was like, why can't I do this? Why am I losing so much time? Why am I struggling? Like, and I was trying to whip myself into shape here, like boot camp, and it wasn't working because I didn't have the medicine. And apparently, now I know medications can work synergistically together. And I know that one of the medicines that I take for my depression also, and this is, normally I wouldn't share personal information like medications, but because my content is a lot of it right now, until I branch out and I get better at doing videos and I can actually edit them and make them fun again and make them professional and not this. I lost my train of thought, but that's why we're here. I hate it when that happens. Happens a lot. I'm retracing my thought. Hold on. This is embarrassing. It's like when you go into another room and it just like wipes, like, why did I come in here? Okay, so I'm just going to sum this up because that's how I'm tracing my thoughts. So I started recording myself here to let you guys know what's going on. Kind of touch base why I haven't been filming. I kind of did that with my last, not the one on happy birthday kind of short thing I did. But, yep, we lost my mother-in-law. She passed away. I did a video about that previously, so I'll start crying. Part of this may also deal with my sensitivity since we had a lot of loss in my family when I was young and even, as I get older. So losses in general it's weird. Sometimes I'm like numb because I've been through it so much, and then it's like used to it in some weird twisted kind of way that I guess is my brain's way of protecting myself. Like, here we are again. Let's, like adjusting and then shutting it off so that we can survive it and deal with it. But it's like the rejection sensitivity where you're triggered because your whole life you're told you're wrong, you're doing things wrong, can't just, why can't, what's wrong with you? And so like, and you can't, you're like, I literally have to squash this to get through any job. I just, hell or high water, I'm going to function like a normal person and not let this affect my job and try to manage it in a way that people don't need to know I have this, because I want to be treated like everyone else, and I want to share when I'm ready to and if I want to and who I want to. Having had a lot of losses, or with rejection sensitivity, which it should be criticism sensitivity, it's raw, right? If you've been through more of something than the average person, not to say that I'm special or anyone's special, loss is loss. You know, it's, if you've been through things that other people can't really relate to, it becomes its own trigger. So anytime, like, you've been through something so much that you're like, you just have a reaction. I'm like that with certain kind of criticism. No, I mean, I'm great with constructive criticism, you know. I'm great. I'm an adult. I'm professional. But with ADHD, certain things, and I don't talk about autism a lot because I am learning. It's new for me. But yeah, it has been a tough couple weeks. It's been a tough couple weeks. And my leave of absence, I mean, it's a lot, and it's triggering. It's triggering. Because I just turned 50, and as of like a year, maybe 2 years ago, I gave myself a mantra to kind of motivate me towards making goals and kind of sorting all this stuff out and getting back on a path of success, which I have been on before. I had to walk away because it didn't make enough money for me to survive. That's why I had to go back to school. But I have been successful in the past, so this isn't acceptable to me. Not that that's helpful, but that's my reaction. I'm like, no, we're not doing this anymore. That doesn't stop it from happening, right? I'm rambling. I'm going to go get ready. It is 9:20, if that clock is right. And I just turned 50 a few days ago. OMG, as much of how gross that I look in these videos, no makeup, like I just woke up, like most women who, I used to work in the beauty field, like, and I've worked in retail with clothes and fashion and all of these things. You don't leave your house, you don't let people see you without a little makeup on and your hair, and like care about yourself, presentable. So me doing these videos like this, I am not a vain person. It's just my last few decades of my life and what I have been conditioned to do, and the face that I show the public, whether I'm working in retail or if I've worked in an office. There is a dress code. There is a certain way you behave. There's a certain way you dress. A certain way you're presentable. And this is not it. So it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing, but it's getting better. All the things that I was trying to prevent happened. I don't think I ever got out of losing that nursing school. I think that was just that, and then my dad dying suddenly, and then us having to move suddenly, and my mom getting diagnosed with cancer a couple years before that. My divorce a few years before that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Doing the work is hard, right? The healing work, whether for you, maybe it's going to church, as some people don't believe in therapy. Whatever it is for you, wherever you live, if you don't live in the US, maybe therapy is not something that you respect or agree with. So for you, you would go to your elders. Maybe you would go with your family and they would counsel you on some of these, hardships of life, the things that emotionally just knock us off our post, knock us off of our foundation. We fall on our face and we don't have the skills to know how to get back up. It's one thing to heal from grieving the loss of a loved one, because you could go to counseling, you could read books. There is a lot of material on the stages of grief, and you can learn about that. But learning how to pick yourself up from reoccurring losses and tragedies and losing the things that and I'm not just talking about losing relationships. Like, of course we can all relate to, unfortunately a lot of us can relate to divorce, but losing a loved one, somebody passing away, those are a part of life and we can relate to it. I have always struggled with when a job is taken away from you. I don't know the right words. It's because of circumstance. Like, suddenly you have to move. Well, you have to leave that job now. That's happened to me twice. Actually, did it happen more than that? I suddenly had to lose my job. I've had... How many times have I purchased a home? I had to suddenly lose, like move out of and then lose the home. 1, 2. I think I only bought a house twice. That sucks so bad, man. That still hurts. You know what messes me up about it? Is it takes a long time to build up stability in your life. It takes a long time to go to school, to get that degree, to get that career, and to build up an income. And then to have the stability of having your own home. And it doesn't seem to take very much. And it might be out of your control. Something out of left field that you never saw coming in a million years. Like a dissolution of a relationship. That happened to me twice. And both times I lost everything. Yeah. Once in my early 20s. And each time, everybody's situation is different. Every relationship is different. And that's the past. I've made my peace. Like, I have no desire into reflecting on those things right now, because that's all like interpersonal stuff, and I've done my work, so that's good. But how to survive when you have these things happen to you? And then when, like, going back to nursing school hasn't been an option for me. And I've really, really been struggling. Like, I'm not going to like slam the economy and all these things that are there. We're all struggling. Like, have you seen the cost of milk and eggs and everything at this grocery store go up? It's insane. I've said this in another video. I'll say it here. Literally, the average cost of living, I know it's different in different parts of the state where I live. I know, thank God I don't live in Boston, yo. I'm in New England, But that covers a lot of states. But I have lived in 1, 2, 3 states. So it doesn't really matter where I live now. Okay? But I'm familiar with 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 states that I have either personally lived in or family lives in. Been there. No, enough. Like, yeah. They were just talking on the news. It's ironic. They were talking on the news of the cost of living of Boston. I'm talking New England right now. Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States. They just did a thing on the news a few days ago. I think a few days ago. I don't trust my sense of time anymore. I don't even know. Could be 2 weeks ago. But I feel like they were just talking about how insanely expensive it is. I don't know how anybody affords to live there unless you're a millionaire. I don't know, honestly, even in any kind of, like, I don't know how much it costs in some of the assisted, if there's still assisted housing area, in the more humble areas. God, how do any of us survive? I don't even know. I don't. I really, really don't. The cost of living in my state's like $50 an hour. You have to make $50 an hour. Now, that's an average. But, yeah. And then a couple days ago, they were just saying that Boston is one of the top 4 richest places, most affluent. I'm like, well, if you take the cost of living, that's like you breathe. You have to like pay to breathe. I don't know. Is it tens of thousands yet for rent? Like, how much money does it cost to live in Boston? I forget. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Actually, it's been at least a decade since I try not to go in there. I try not to drive there. There's a lot of wonderful places to go. If you live in another country and you're thinking of coming to the US and you want to hit some of the tourist locations in Boston, there's some nice places that would be really fun to go to that I do recommend. I can't actually, it's been so many years and I don't know anything about where you can stay. And I would try to reach out to anyone you might know who lives close by, because I don't think that I would stay in any hotel in Boston if you can. I don't know how you would do transport though, because out of all of the places I've ever traveled or lived near in my entire life, Boston has to be the most convoluted, difficult places to get around. Now, it's been a long time since I've kept up with any of the, when I was younger, I lived in I didn't like necessarily live closer per se, but I would go into Boston more. It was like more of, you're in your 20s. You know people who are living in Boston because they're going to school there. You might go out there. I don't know if the dance clubs are still there. Wow. That was a long time. Baseball games are expensive. Everything's so freaking. If I lived there, I swear to God in heaven, to my loved ones who've passed, that I would tell you every place that is affordable for you to go. Because I don't think anyone should, I swear, I think you're going to need a small fortune. But if money's no object for you, go stay there. That's great. I would recommend having somebody else drive you. You're not going to die, but the drivers zip in and out so fast that you're like, "Jeez, sorry for swearing." And I'm from New England. Dude, I'm from here. There's a reason I don't go into Boston, besides the fact that it's expensive and I've been to these places. So I'm older now. Well, do you guys want to do morning coffee on lives? I promise I'll put a comb through my hair. I'll make myself look a little bit more presentable. And then I can talk with you guys. And it's not just me rambling to a phone about who knows what. I have no idea what I've talked about. What am I doing today? I started this video to tell you why I haven't been here. I was really struggling with the first 15 days, and then something happened before. Oh, I was approaching the end of my leave of absence, and it was starting to get me so stressed out because I still had no idea if I was going back or not. I still keep going back and forth, but I've been in touch with my boss, and I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, which was actually really good. It was really good. I don't know why that just really kind of surprised me, is that I was thinking of all of the things that was making me physically sick being there, and I'm learning about autism burnout because all signs point to go, all signs point to. I mean, I've been sorting through all of this with my therapist for 1 to 2 years, and it looks like I probably have both autism and ADHD, but I don't talk about autism a lot on my channel yet. I have been in the learning phase of it. So, and maybe if you're neurodivergent, you relate to this, is I don't, and maybe it's a me thing, I don't know. I know that you've met one person with autism, met one person with autism, you've met one person with ADHD, you've met one, then we're not all the same, we're all very different. And then, heck, if you've got both, then you've got like all the different variables for the different flavors of ADHD. Then you got all the variables of the different ways that autism can present. And that's not even including how they used to just think of it as a spectrum of less and more, like high functioning, low functioning, which I know that we're getting away from that. But I'm going through so much of trying to put my life back together, that at least at this point in time, I'm not furthering my learning about autism. It's a lot. I'm furthering my knowledge as far as the particular things that I struggle with, which could just be ADHD. But I don't know if anyone's going to even watch this. If you're still with me, thanks. If you struggle with autism, you'll know what these are, and some people with ADHD might know. I do have demand avoidance, which I guess a lot of people, it's very common for ADHD, but I think I have the pathological demand avoidance. It's a horrible name for it's like a neurological reaction. It's not just subconscious. Anything that even remotely feels like somebody telling you what to do, and then you can't do it, and it makes no sense. But it's there, and it keeps messing you up. And it's kind of like ADHD. It's this invisible thing that you are not aware is there, and it's effing you up. It's messing with your ability to get your things done on your list. And you think you're an insane person because now all of a sudden you're having an anxiety attack or melting down and you don't know why. That'll make you feel nuts. So telling yourself that you don't have ADHD, telling yourself you don't have autism is literally not doing you any favors at all. If you do struggle with these, either or both, you're like me. You're gonna have this, like, generally speaking, difficulty, either if it's just ADHD, maybe maintaining or functioning at a job, being on time. There's a bunch of different things that tend to be like, we all struggle with different things. I don't understand exactly why, but we have, it's a lot, guys. It's so much. My executive functioning issues are bad. Oh, they're so bad. Like, it makes me want to, like, lock myself up somewhere, because it's like, can I just get out of my way to shower and get the F ready and get out of the house in the morning to go get fucking groceries? Sorry for swearing. Yeah, I look normal and I feel normal and I think I'm normal and everybody else thinks I'm normal, but apparently I'm not normal. I'm not neurotypical. I don't want to believe I have something. I probably have both. Sucks. There is a YouTuber on here, and there's a few of them that I watch content on autism. Oh, there's a bunch of people, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful. I really like so many of them. So many of them. I hope I get to know them. They're beautiful people. My heart's with you guys. I think, people with ADHD and people with autism struggle with some of the similar thing. The overlap, the more I'm learning about it, the overlap of things we struggle with and that we have in common is ridiculous. It's insane. Learning about it in the last year or two, and I am not creating a pun with the puzzle piece thing, forgive me, but I don't know any other analogy that it feels like the missing piece that finally makes things make sense from my childhood, from my 20s, from since then. And I have a personal feeling as far as, like, and I guess if I'm a member of the community, I can, and this is evolving, so forgive me. I'm so new to learning that I have this. I probably have this. And as far as now, this is the closest. Like, I'm sorting through a lot of different things. And the reason why I'm doing this is to help me understand what's happening so I can fix it, what I can fix, and then forgive myself for what I can't. And stop hating myself. And learning what the difference is. It's just like that serenity prayer. I have a poster somewhere, and it's funny that I intuitively gravitated towards it. It was like, I need this. I luckily, gratefully, thank God in heaven that I know from what I've learned, what I've read over the years from different experts, from books, from professionals, as everything I picked up over the years. ADHD I've known for half of my life. I have a certain kind of base knowledge. And so I still am getting overwhelmed because of a lot of the things that it's almost like I'm going through. That in itself is a rebirth. My God, I'm going through multiple rebirths right now, guys. It hurts, man. It hurts. We all go through it. There might be something different for you. Might be a serious health diagnosis. It's not the same thing because a health diagnosis threatens your life, but whatever it is that you're struggling with in life that messes you up and causes you to lose everything. Some people, it is a serious health diagnosis. Some people, it might be psychosis for people who struggle with schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, delusions, hallucinations. That's got to be terrible. Can you imagine trying to pay your rent and buy groceries and work an everyday, let alone the fact that they're horrifying for those people who have them? I'm no expert. I had a friend when I was young. I know I've talked about it a little bit before, but it's touched me personally by the fact that I had a friend when I was young and things that happened around that. And the compassion that I have for people who struggle with these things is like insane. I mean, like, I can't imagine what that's like. I have no idea. But I know it's not fun. Can you imagine being at work and then all of a sudden having a hallucination? Good luck writing those invoices. You know, somebody shouting in your ear. And it's loud. Imagine if that was you. There is a wonderful, wonderful girl, a wonderful young woman. I don't want to call her girl. And her name, she goes by Schizo. Go look her up. She's awesome. She has like bluish hair. I follow her. She has schizoaffective disorder, which is it's bipolar with, and if I'm Kit, I think her name's Kit. If I'm saying this wrong, forgive me. But I'm just going from memory, and what I have what I've gleaned from her channel is like having bipolar with some aspects of hallucinations, which has been really challenging for her. And God bless her. Like, it's, you know, some people, I'm not talking about what you might hear a term inspiration porn, and that refers to people who don't have autism. And they're like, oh, you're such an inspiration. And it's just like, I'm not talking that. I guess I relate to people. I empathize with people because I struggle. And I don't have the same level of struggling as other people. That makes me appreciate it and value their struggles so much more. And I admire them for getting through it every day. I know how hard my struggles are. Having major depression by itself is hard. And for those that don't have it and don't know about like the chemical imbalance and what it does to you physically as well as mentally and emotionally, it will make you not be able to move physically. You won't be able to get up to go to work. So there's way more than what the name implies, depression. You think somebody's just sad and doesn't get over it. No. It is way worse. Although there is a lot of good amount of sadness in there too. I would just like to have some taste of normalcy. Can you believe it? I am stressing out about being a cashier. Not that that's where I'm supposed to be anyway. I'm 50 years old. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I'm determined. I am determined to figure something out for myself. Even if that means doing something unconventional like YouTube. You know, I'm going to have to watch a lot of videos to learn how to make these videos really good. I'm wondering if I'm the only person who's going to be watching this. If you guys are watching me on your TV, I'm so sorry. But if you want the point of view of somebody who is struggling, What is resilience? I don't know. I do not feel resilient. All the things that I talked to earlier about those times in your life where you lose everything all at once. And so now you don't have that one thing like my life is falling apart. I can't take it, but I'm just going to focus on work, even if I have to stay there late to just avoid doing this, just so I can have a minute of peace because this is too much. Like you seem to have there's always something. But I feel like almost half a dozen times it's becoming a theme. What is resilience? Yeah, I do have to get up. Yes, I do have to go work. I don't want to sit here on my couch all day. Apparently I have all this trauma work I have to do that I haven't done. And I want you guys to know, as far as me, as an individual, anytime I hear something from a counselor or anyone giving me advice, even people who know me well, I reflect on it all. I also feel I sort through it in my own way what resonates with me. So if a counselor tells you something and you're like, oh, like you feel it, like you feel that tug or reaction inside of you that goes, you should listen to her. We're in here. Like you got that feeling. I'm not going to believe something just because somebody tells me. I'm an intelligent person. And even though, yes, I'm aware there is, this is why, if it's therapy for you, or maybe if it's tricky when it's family, because sometimes if you're very different from your family, that can be tricky to go to family for advice. Like I do that as well because they know me well. But they have their own personal biases and their feelings about you through the lens of their experience. And they may have very different values and very different ways of doing things. And they might just be, it gets codependent. So I would definitely, if you have times in your life where you're lost or you're really not sure, and that if somebody on the outside could see it, just tell you that that's very helpful. But I just don't take something in and believe it just because someone told me. I feel it, I take it in, I reflect on it, and then what resonates with me is like, I move forward, I make the choice, and I'm conscious about it. And then I go, okay. And I trust her. I have worked with her for 2 years now. 2 years? 3 years? And she has ADHD as well. So this is like, for me, at least in my particular case and my way of dealing with things, everyone's so unique. And then on top of that, you have your own personality and you have your own socioeconomic upbringing. You have your own cultural upbringing. You have all of these things and your own experiences growing up with authority, and then your own perspective. So there's so many things that make you who you are as an individual and how you move forward with doing your work. No, this conversation was going to be totally rambly, but for somebody who has not gone to counseling before, this you might find very helpful. So give it some thought. The way I look at it, I just say, try it if you're open to it. If a counselor is telling you what to think or what to feel, that's a sign that you need to find a new counselor. A good therapist is not going to do that. A good therapist is going to help you on your path You're the one steering the ship. You're the one making the choices in your life. You're the one setting the goals, charting the course, and doing the work. They're there to support you. And if you don't feel that way, leave. Always remember, therapists, ministers, teachers, family, these are all very, very important people in our lives. But at the end of the day, and we should listen to them. Like, they know things that we don't know. We're in our own head. We're influenced. We can't see it straight because we're in it. But also use your own wisdom and guidance. You get to choose. You get to choose. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. Thank you for supporting me. This channel is in its infancy. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know. I want to get back to doing content, like fun content too. Months ago, I started doing a series on digging into the history of opioids in history. That was really, really interesting for me because I have a need to understand things. I geek out. That's one of my interests. Learning about things that are medical, the human body, and then the socio implications of how that's affected cultures. And the more I started learning about, fentanyl and opioids, because it was a class that I was taking to renew a license, my brain just went, what? And it suddenly became a hyperfixation. Like, I needed to know everything. So I think like the second video I did on that series was very good. And I would love to do more content like that. I was also thinking, like, last night, I was inspired to do artwork. I'm an artist, but I don't give myself time to do art. I was being inspired. I was going to do some and just turn the camera on and then maybe put music in the background. So I might throw some art things on there. And it's going to be a lot better than those coloring book pages. I was sick and I that's all I could do that week. And I spaced it out to just try to use the algorithm because that was the advice I was getting. So I'm sorry about those coloring book ones, but now it's like too late to take them down. I mean, I can, but I'm such a new channel, I don't want to yet. So yeah, I had this. This is getting way too long. So yeah, I talk in here like you're my friend, like how I would talk to my friends, coworkers, people that I meet. That's just like how I am anyway. I don't know if it's a neurodivergent thing. I tend to be kind of an open book. Unless I'm not in a safe environment, then I'm not. Withdrawn. What am I even saying? Oh, it's almost 10. I have to eat. I have to get back on my planner. Pills, food, protein. Well, I took my pills. Oh my God, I have no idea what time I took my pills. Who cares? Who cares? I was getting so caught up. I'm going to try something different. This coming week, I'm going to start a new video. But yeah, if you have ADHD, please contact me by messaging in this video. I'm starting to get like a cold or something. Excuse me. If you struggle with functioning and getting yourself on track and keeping track of time and things around you have gotten messy, and maybe you can't see a counselor or you can't see a counselor very much, I need an accountability buddy. Accountability buddy? I need a partner. I need a person or even people. Would you guys like to do that with lives? We can touch base like once a week and talk about what we're struggling with. Um, the ADHD group I was in was very helpful, and I can teach you guys like all the stuff I learned. I think having ADHD is making it hard for me to start my channel in a way like that is cohesive, because I have a vision in my mind of all the, like, some of the content I wanted to add in a very practical way that you can use and apply like right away. But I have so many ideas, and there's so many different things swirling in my head that I have no idea where to start. I can do lives now. I haven't started yet because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing yet. My friend just texted me. I'm finally getting to celebrate my birthday. I had my birthday the other day, and then when the day came, we had just lost my mother-in-law recently, and her ashes came home the same day that I was going to go out and celebrate. So I couldn't. I got really, really, really sad. And it added, I know this feels selfish, but it just was like another thing added, that as soon as I get hopeful, like something good's coming, something else important, it's more important. Because who she is, and I love her, and we love her. It's more important than a birthday. We'll talk more. I get sad, man. In the summer, like, I live near a body of water, and I can actually look out and see not far off people playing and doing normal things in the summer. And my family doesn't do that. We can't do that. For 7 years, I've sit here, and I'll sit on my porch, or I'll look out the window, and I see families playing on boats, swimming in the water. And I live near this place where I can do all of those things, but I would be doing it by myself. It's not as fun. The thing I'm missing is family. I got to make different choices in my life. I got to start looking at things in different ways, right? Sorry, I got itches in my ear. I have to make changes. I have become a hermit at times, through necessity, to withdraw, to take care of myself, like with the burnout, when my body just kind of gave up on me. And I physically couldn't move. It was horrible. And I got so physically sick, guys. I got so sick. And not all the rest it's like 3 months later, and I'm just starting to feel normal. I hate neurodivergent burnouts. Like, you can look it up. Okay, so I'm rambling. I have to get ready soon. My friend is going to take me out, not for breakfast, for lunch. Because your girl is not a morning person. I know that I like this time in the morning, whether I'm like doing a video like this and talking with you guys, or I'm writing goals, or I'm reflecting, and I need that time to be a zombie in the morning because my brain is not functional. I feel like my brain is an old Macintosh computer from the 80s. And everybody gets the new versions that just turn on and they just work. Or I have a regular old PC from like maybe the 90s or the early 2000s or something, and I'm on dial-up. And that's how my brain feels in the morning. Medication doesn't. It just kind of, there's so much I want to talk about, guys. I need guidance. Good news is the fog is clearing. I'm going to be having a grieving period. I know that this is not, that she
is not somebody I lived with, and I've only known her, well, I've known her for over a decade now, but I love her so much. She's my mother-in-law. I'm not her son or her daughter, but I love her. I've gotten so many things I love about. I'm not going to say loved past tense because I feel like you don't stop loving somebody just because they're gone, just because they pass. And whether you believe in an afterlife or you don't, even if that person did cease to exist, I'm not going to stop loving them. I'm still going to have those feelings. And that's good. Because all the memories and the things that all these people in our lives, where their family, everybody is a blessing. You know, we're so lucky. We take for granted every day. It's a miracle. And sometimes I have to, like, especially when I'm in a depression, I have to get it in my head that it's a miracle because I forget. Today's the first day that anybody's going to celebrate my birthday with me. My fiance was going to take me out. Saturday was my birthday. He was going to take me out, and then I felt like a baby and a horrible person. Because on one side I was like triggered by the ashes coming home. But also, it's a conflict, right? It may have been my birthday, but how much fun am I going to have if I'm thinking about her? And I want to enjoy my birthday. I want to just think about the birthday so I can enjoy it and I can really be present with my family and love them. Or my friend who's going to take me out. You can't do both. You can't grieve and celebrate a 50th birthday. Shouldn't we have like a birthday party or something? I don't know. We don't really do much on birthdays here, and it's depressing. I thought maybe it'd be different. I mean, I know that I have been stuck at home and I'm in this cocoon process of integrating all of this stuff that I'm learning about burnout, and that's another reason why I can't just get off my ass and just grab a job. Because I'm in the middle of learning about autism. I don't have access to evaluation. So I can't get a diagnosis. I can work with a counselor and we can sort through, and she's an unbiased person, and we can outside perspective, and we can sort through a lifetime of stuff and look at it objectively, and it looks like I do. So probably. I'm not there, like I'm 99% there. I'm spacing. I love you guys. I really do. I don't know you, but I care so much. And I think because the more you struggle in life, the more you do care about people, unless like you have no empathy. And I can't relate to that, and that's your struggle if you have that, and I'm sorry. That's not my area of knowledge. But I did a meditation yesterday. I spent some time alone, and I did a lot of reflecting, and I think I started to scratch the tip of the iceberg. I think I'm starting to get some clarity on some of this stuff, like some things that didn't even occur to me. There might be a reason for all of this besides the ADHD and autism. And finally, like some good reason for it, and it's okay. And I'm not a failure. And it isn't, I keep thinking, do more. This is not where I'm supposed to be. Being here and being stuck is a failure on my part. I keep thinking this is not, like, even if I'm learning that it's not, I feel like, well, I did it before. Why can't I do it now? Why are my symptoms bad now? So there is that aspect of cocooning where I have to go within and withdraw to get myself healthy again because I got so sick. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I just want to be a normal person again. Like, considering. I hate it. And I do spend a certain, it's an hour and a half. I do spend a certain amount of time avoiding things. So I almost feel like I'm in panic mode, depression mode, frantically thinking, trying to come up with solutions. Either yesterday or the day before. The past like week or two, I've spent quite a number of hours like combing through job listings, starting to kind of like feel out, okay, how much. Yesterday morning or the day before, I was revisiting like some old work I was doing in a book that I found, listing the different jobs. I'm like picking that back up. I did touch base with my boss in the last few weeks, and this past week wasn't good because they were getting a corporate visit. So I offered to touch base with him this week. So probably tomorrow I'll touch base with him. And I'm still like on the fence of giving my notice or coming back like one day a week. Me taking my leave of absence, I thought I was going to be able to come up with some solutions and decide some other job or career field, but the situation hasn't changed in the sense that the solutions that I was seeking aren't there. We'll talk about career in another video. Suffice it to say, these type of videos are not going to be here much longer. So if they're completely unwatchable, I am so sorry. I do talk a lot about a lot of information that might be very helpful for you, though. What time am I going out? It's 10 past 10. That clock is not always right. I gotta go. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I stumbled upon a video yesterday. It was one of those like readings. I don't have them very often, and this one was kind of like a general one, but for those who it resonate, it felt like my particular issues that are different from everybody else around, like everybody else around me my entire life, and all of these failures and all of these hardships that I don't understand, let alone have any ideas how to fix. Yeah, a lot of things like that, like readings, are general, but this was like, I saved that. I had some huge epiphanies that made me feel like maybe I'm turning a corner. And that's awesome. I want to help people so bad, but it's like life in the universe is stopping me from doing it. It's like stopping me because all this healing that I have to do. Who wants to think they have trauma? I really don't want to get another counselor. But what harm is it going to do? Right? You don't get the result. You don't get things fixed until you put in the work. And unfortunately, healing work is hard. And it takes a long time. But once you do it, your life is freed. You know, I've done this kind of work before at different times in my life through different lessons that I was being called by the universe or God or my angels or whatever. The patterns I was going through, I'm like, okay, you got to deal with this, right? So I've had periods of my life where I had to withdraw from. And in my particular situation, I was not functional. So I had different times when when I was out of work. And then I had to go to counseling. And I had to learn what was going on. And I had to learn what things I wasn't dealing with. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. I'd rather tell myself, just suck it up. You're fine. No, you're not fine. Or you wouldn't have these things happen. And if you don't it's kind of like my friend broke her foot when she was traveling. I am hanging up, I promise. Just bear with me, this one last thought. My friend broke her foot when she went to Italy. She came out of a cafe and broke her ankle. She was able to go to a hospital there, but for whatever reason, fate, maybe, it's not anything bad against anybody who treated her, it didn't set properly. So she had I don't know if she had a cast or a boot or whatever. And by the time she came home and was able to go to a doctor, the bones healed wrong. So what is her solution? This is a perfect analogy. She got the bad news. My bad news is, yeah, you're not going to be functional and you've got these problems that you don't realize you have. And yeah, you've been out of it, but now you have to do this thing now too. Who wants to do that? Nobody. She was being told, if you do not have us break your ankle and reset it and you be out of work for 6 months, she's the friend who's taking me out. It's going to affect your whole life. That was her choice. I don't want to be like, I told you so, but I really did encourage her. She was getting some assistance for a situation in her life. She was in a safe place where she was, and this is not a lot of people can do that, but she had support where she could take time off of work to do that. And because her family just wanted her work. No, you can't do that right now. You have to work. She doesn't have to work. She has assistance. She has things that are helping her because of a health condition she has. So it's okay if you take 6 months to not work, to allow your foot to heal properly, so then you can run, and then you can walk, and then you can decide if you want a job to work on your feet. So her family didn't want her to do it, so she didn't do it. So to this day, she has a effed up foot. And I can't, and she's my good friend. She's my best friend. And I can't do things with her. It's not about me. I implored her. I wrote this long letter to her. I'm like, what if you want kids someday? You want to be able to run and jump. You want to be able to carry them. You don't want to be limping around. What if you want a job where you're working on your feet? What if you want to go for a hike? And what if you want to be able to go grocery shopping and not have like a hurting foot? This is going to affect your entire life. This little period of time, 6 months or whatever, it's going to go by anyway. Take the time you need. I know it sucks. My mom's texting me. I'm going to go. But she didn't do it. And now she's going to have a messed up foot for the rest of her life. And it makes me incredibly sad for her. She just limited herself. Sometimes in life things happen to give you, and it comes in the form of a hardship or a tragedy or something that prevents you from working and you hate yourself for it. And then sometimes it's the universe going, no, you have this other thing. And we've been trying to get you to look at this other thing. And we know you don't want to think it's a thing, but you have to do this. And it hurts. But if you can be disabled and off of work and you do this thing, that's like probably the most painful thing you can probably do. But if you can do it, and you can get through it, you will never have that problem again. That's what healing work can do. I'm not talking going to counseling for the rest of your life. I'm talking, and however that works for you, it might not be going to a counselor. It might be doing charity work, whatever, working with people who struggle with the same thing, whatever the thing is to help you overcome the hardship, or you integrate it, or you heal it, or you forgive it, or you grieve it, whatever it is. I gotta go. This is an insane video and I haven't posted, so I'm still gonna post it. Don't hate me. Will anyone even watch this? Probably not. That's okay. This is like my video diary, I guess. I love you guys. I will be in touch. I'm not going to be gone long, because all of this like questioning of what I'm doing now is going to get resolved very soon. And even if I go back to that job that drains the life out of me, even if I go there one day a week, I can still get my notice. I don't know. I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful day. Do something kind for yourself. Remember to listen to those voices, those feelings in your body that tell you when something's not right, when you have to take care of yourself. Even if if you're exhausted, you have to work a couple of jobs and you're taking care of your kids, just do something kind for yourself, even if it's during your lunch break. Get that dessert you like. Do a little act of kindness for yourself. You deserve it. You matter. You cannot pour from an empty well. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't take care of everybody else constantly and then not take care of yourself. You can't do it. It's not possible. So sometimes an act of self-care is taking care of everybody else. So make sure to make time for that too. You're precious. You matter. You're here for a reason. You will find out eventually. I don't know what that is, but it's for a good reason. Something good will come from all of this. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Bye.